Yeah, there is a lot going on. Yeah, Palestine is big. What is being done to stop the genocide? Are we still giving our tax dollars for the missiles and things, or is there some things that are being slowed down there some way?
When I came into Congress, I actually formed the Protection of Civilians in Conflict Caucus because of my own experience in seeing civilian casualties in war and in conflict. And I've led on that along with Andy Kim, who's also now in the Senate, and Sarah Jacobs from San Diego. And we have led efforts to try to prevent civilian casualties. This war, this conflict, requires first of all, the 40,000+ civilian casualties is just completely unacceptable by any measure. It just should not be happening. This conflict requires that we hold many things to be true, which is not easy in our current politics, in our current environment. And what can be true is that the Palestinian people have the right to self-determination and statehood and to live in peace and dignity. What is also true is Israel has the right to exist as the Jewish homeland and to also live in peace and security and dignity. The path for that, as out of reach as it may seem right now, is for a two-state solution, of which I have fought for a very, very long time. I've traveled there. I've spoken with Palestinians. I've spoken with Israelis. I've gone to the West Bank. I have taken a deep dive on this issue, and we cannot give up hope on that, because ultimately that is the way to true peace. So that is also true. Another component of that is it's not just enough to say that you're going to protect yourself, but you also have to do it in the right way. Right? And I did this. I had experience doing this in war, where you have a mission and you're trying to defend or accomplish your mission, and you do have to focus on those civilians. Right? Because there is a right way and a wrong way to do it, and I have been very vocal in offering my critiques, my suggestions, my pressure to make sure that we are doing everything possible to protect civilians in this conflict. And I will not stop being vocal about that, because not just our credibility, but the moral aspects of this are at play as well.
I agree with everything that Jason just said, and I would say, you know, one of the things that he said that I believe is very, very important is that we cannot let go of the two-state solution as the answer to the situation that we're facing there. And people are giving up on that. There are people in the region who have given up on that, and there are people in our political system here on both sides who have given up on that. And I think that's a huge mistake, because it really is the only way out of the permanent state of war that people are in right now. And it has been an epic human tragedy, what has happened. And it has been absolutely appalling to see the lack of care that Benjamin Netanyahu has had for the Palestinians who have suffered in this conflict. And I think it is an abomination that he has done nothing to make it easier to get humanitarian aid in to Gaza as well. We need this war to come to an end. We need there to be a peace in this region, and then we have to figure out how to build that two-state solution. And it is an example where the United States has a critical role to play here as the leading democracy in the world. It's hard for us to play that role when we have a president who doesn't think that's important and doesn't care about the democracy, and every day is figuring out how to undermine it. That jeopardizes our credibility around the world as well in ways that are very, very fundamental. And when he's flying over there to, you know, take in one airplane, the biggest piece of graft that all the presidents together in our country's history have not ever taken, it creates huge problems as well in the region. So I'm grateful that we have Jason's experience on the battlefield as he thinks about these questions, and I lean on him a lot to understand the issue.
In the food aid, can I add? I'm just going to add one other thing. I was with Cindy McCain recently and she's the head of the World Food Program right now. And she told me unequivocally that there has been no food that has been allowed to enter Gaza since March 2nd. It is, I mean, it is unacceptable by any measure, and I'm putting pressure any and every way that I know how to say it's unacceptable. The Trump administration is not listening to me, to us. I've communicated that to everybody who will listen, anybody who will listen, because it just cannot be allowed. It cannot stand by any stretch. And you have my promise that I am exerting as much pressure as possible to stop that state of affairs and to get food and medicine flowing again.